start by a basic polyline that we will reference in Grasshopper. Set one curve, select this one, and then we have it referenced. And then we will start by making the base curves for the chairs and the podiums. Base curves. Base curves. First thing is to get the area, to get the center weight, and then a polygon, and we will add the ability to rotate this polygon by rotating its base plane. So the center weight, which is this one, when we plugged it in the plane, it will be converted as a plane with the X and Y plane by default. We will be able to rotate it by having this rotate plane component, and then we will be able to rotate it by a degree angle. So we plug this center weight into the plane, it becomes a plane that we can rotate, and we can have a rotation angle, a 30-60 degree. This will be the rotation of the base. And as we do this, you can see the plane rotating, and that's what we will plug here in the plane. Now we have a rotating segments. Let's hide this for this moment. We need a radius, a segment, and fillet radius. What we need is just these two first. Let's add a radius, 20 max, 20 meters, and the same for segments. And now let's randomly set some segments and some radius. And we have all our parameters for the base podium curve. Some organization things. Yeah, move on. So to create the chairs, we will just offset the polygon a couple of times. So let's series this, and we will offset it by a row distance. So we have a row between 0 and 5, distance between the different rows. We plug this on the start and on the steps, and we will have an offset curve to offset the polygons in this number of series. Here is just 10 by default, but we need more count. That's just 100, it's just curves, not really heavy to process. And plug this in the distance. Now this is what we have. We need to of course select, yeah, the first distance from the podium technically should be 100 is too much. Let's consider this max rows number and add it to our parameters group. Let's add just 10 for this moment, or 20, and that's it. We can parametrically check this later. And here for the start, the podium, the first row should be like twice the row distance. Let's do it twice, 2 multiplied by x in the expression here. So the first one is 2 times, and then the laters are just 1 degree. Let me change the precision R and have it precise 2. Now we can have double decimals. This is more fluid. This would be the row distance or spacing. Put this again here, and from these base curves we need to have an alleys over here. So what we can do is just explode these curves and get segments, and then extend them the opposite way. Extend each curve by, let's say, the alley halfway. So we need an alley. It could be between, let's say, 1 meter and 3 meters, or let's say 5. This is the alley, and let's plug it in the start and end, but we don't want them to extend it outside, we want them to be extended inside to reduce the curve size. So we just have expression minus x, and the same thing here, expression minus x. And double click to create this rerouting here, and this will become our alley parameter. Let's check this one so that we can see what we're doing as we're going. So we have the alley spacing, and everything is right now being parametric. So we have the 2 things, which is the, oh, I forgot to trim by region. I'll trim all these curves by the region, which is the, not this one, is the outside polygon. Yeah, this one, the base curve. Now just take the inside ones. Curve what's inside. So I have only what's inside, and so this will be, I'll double click here to show it and call this chair curves. And I have another one for the podium. The podium, which is the base one, polygon. Call this podium curve. And I'll move this VRay here to organize the code a bit. So this is our base curve group, and this is our base parameters. And we can see all of it here. Let's hide the offsets. Control Q to hide, Control Q to hide this, and Control Q to hide this. So we'll be left only with the outputs. Let's make a base chair in the, I'll move this a bit over here, and I'll make a chair as I like basic rectangle cover. For that purpose, let's go back here, and we have this prepep VRay, set one VRay, and then create a block definition. So this will be our block objects. I'll call it chair. And this is our block. I will internalize this so that I can just delete that. So it's already in the script. I'll save this. Now we'll use this to populate chairs here. So in each midpoint, I'll insert a block definition. I'll take the midpoint, evaluate curve, reparameterize, and the parameters will be in the middle. 0.5, which is 0 is the beginning, 1 is the end, 0.5 is the middle. Curve here, so in each midpoint I'm inserting a block instance. Block instance. So I put the point here in the transform and the block definition here, and we have our blocks, but they're not oriented. To orient them, we need to use the tangent. So I would orient. We need to transform. The transform could be an oriented plane, so we create an align plane. We send each plane point to the direction. Now we get aligned planes here. We will insert the block definitions, and we will hide this one. This needs to be scaled. Scale non-uniformly. We'll use these block instances, and we will scale them in their planes, and we will use the curves length as, because the base unit is 1, this is 0.5 and this is 1, curve length, and we'll get it from here. Curves and curve length. For each one, we scale by x, and that's it. And we have our chairs. Now, this could be hidden. And to create a podium, it will be a simple extrusion in the z direction by 0.1, 10 centimeters. And let's cap it. Now we have a podium, and we have the chairs, and we have a row spacing, and the rotation, the number of segments, and all of this is parametrically done without having to change anything ourselves. Asset editor, where I will pre-configure the VRay to actually customize all these geometries. In the VRay, at first make a quick interactive render, RTX, low, we need a really fast render, one for the noise and denoising NVIDIA AI for those who have RTX. And for the camera, I disable the exposure. Now go to the main. I will enable here VRay Interactive so that I can see what's happening. I will use this geometry. I need to explode the objects because it's a block definition, so I need to explode them first so that I access them with the VRay geometry. And this VRay geometry here then will be rendered in the project VRay render. And I can go to the VRay here and find render, VRay render. The geometry to the geometry and the render to the render scene, and then I'll be able to see the chairs as they are changed. I do the same for the podium, just plug the podium there, shift and plug the podium as well, and now I can hide this and I'll be able to see all of it live. So as I change everything here, the change will be podium distance. And yeah, so here's a trick to make this way faster. I need to configure here a couple of things like the base plane to get the, I'll add a base plane. I'll add an infinite plane. Here. And now I have my infinite plane. I need to configure the materials, so I'll go to the asset editor plus material, and I can make a ground material. Now we create another material for chairs. Let's just make the chairs plain white, simple white, and the ground materials. Let's add a bitmap and make it like that's good. And I need to go back and add the pump map. There's a normal map, a big map for this wood. Now I need to preview this using this chair material, this ground material. I need to pick material picker, material from project. I pick the ground material for the ground, and I'll copy this, drag out, and I use the one material for the chairs. Here our stuff, there's a problem in lighting that you can see here, we need to fix it. I didn't enable the sunlight, now it's fixed. And I need a custom sun orientation, 45°, and I can change the angle easily from here. We have the live render of our scene. We can just right now then make this and this, especially the chairs. That's a real problem. If I make the chairs now, I have block instances. I have a lot of block instances, 410 block instances. If I save them, just 2 megabytes. But let's say I bake the old way, which is exploded blocks. Let's select all the blocks. Now explode the blocks. Now we have poly surfaces. If I save the file, it will become 13 megabytes, and it gets way larger. So for stadiums, for chairs, for trees, and all of that, it's better to just keep blocks. So now to optimize the render time, what we will do is that we will use a merge to merge multiple geometry. This will be the ground. So this will be the ground. And then VRay instances for the chairs, and then VRay geometry for the chair, that will be instanced, and for the ground. And as material, we use the same material, which is the chairs for both. So the chair we will get the base geometry, the block definition, or you can get everything from here. Yeah, the base geometry, the block definition. And plug it here, and then we get transformation from the block instance. The block instance that we have, and we take the information from it. This is, to avoid confusion, is coming from over there. And then this is the transform, which is move, rotate, and scale. And now it will be way faster. So the VRay geometry here again, material, the podium, VRay, the VRay geometry, and then we will get that and add it to the whole thing. So I can hide all of this, preview off, and this will be rendered way more faster, as you can see, compared to if we just did, because everything is instanced, and even if we bake the geometry of the output, it will be really a lightweight file size again, as I showed you. Thank you for this, and I hope this helped you to manage large scale chairs instances